Many experts agree that Ontario's energy system needs to be rebuilt. But how can cash-strapped Ontario afford to foot the bill? Well, it's not going to be as easy as flipping on a switch.
The electricity problem is certainly of a magnitude that is probably unique in Canadian financial history. For example, the debt. This has been built up over so many years, almost without anybody noticing. In the 1990s, all of a sudden this concept occurred. Somebody raised the question as, hold it, what is happening here? We have more debt than we can repay out of the assets and out of the current operations of Ontario Hydro. In the private sector, if you had that, that would be bankruptcy.
Ontario Hydro is now, by its own admission, bankrupt. They've got $32 billion worth of debt.
The electricity debt became a fierce political issue in the 1990s.
It cost $10 billion more than it was supposed to cost. That's what's causing the problem in hydro rates.
In 1998, then Premier Mike Harris broke Ontario Hydro up into 5 separate companies, the largest being Hydro One, which operates the transmission grid, and Ontario Power Generation, which produces over 70% of the province's electricity.
More than honored.
Harris also implemented a debt repayment fee on every electricity bill. Despite these fees, and because of the continuing interest payments on the debt, as well as the ongoing cost to maintain the electricity system, Ontario's energy debt is still over $31 billion.
Have never seen a situation like this anywhere in the world where the taxpayer has subsidized a squandering of electricity for so many years. Every man, woman, and child in this province has a public debt of $3,000 to pay off the reactors that are sometimes working and sometimes aren't.
We have to keep the lights on, period. And the current infrastructure of our electricity system is compromising our ability to do so.
For more than 25 years, Tom Adams of Energy Probe has kept a watchful and often critical eye on Ontario's electricity market.
Many places in the world enjoy electric power systems that are financially solvent, operate with a much lower level of environmental insults relative to our own, are much more effective in encouraging investment and modernizing their systems. There are others, like Ontario, where the situation is really quite poor. We've got aging infrastructure, the very likely prospect in the next few years of significant interruptions in power supply. We've got a financially unstable system.
You've heard the numbers before. Between now and 2020, factoring in growth in our economy, approximately 25,000 megs of electricity capacity need to be refurbished, conserved, or replaced. That's over 80% of our current capacity. This is the reality we face.
Ontario's headed towards blackouts and bankruptcies. We have a power system that's not sustainable. And if we're going to have one that is sustainable, we have to make some very drastic changes. We don't have much time.
Ontario didn't just find itself in this situation. These circumstances have been long in the making.